Welcome back, Angela Westland here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. Today I'm just going to bring a quick technical tip for you using the spiral flower rose die. Now I have done the double rolled rose for you and also the single. Now I just wanted to give you another tip that even though this looks like a double rolled rose, it is actually only a single rolled rose, but we're just inking the edges. So I'd just like to show you how I've done that. I'm not going to make this card today, but I just wanted to show you this quick technique. So to start with, you will need, which is in the current annual catalogue on page 175, you'll need the spiral flower originals die, which is $30. Order number is 129379. I'll have the link to my store at the end of the video if you are interested in purchasing that die. For $30, it's just I use it all the time. It's a really good die, very versatile. So to get that effect, to start with, my first tip is, this is the die that you're going to get for $30. Now when you're feeding that through your Big Shot, to get the most flowers cut out of an A4 sheet, you need to feed it through your Big Shot sideways. So not that way, through sideways. If you cut a piece of A4 cardstock in half, you will get 2 single roses out of each piece. So that's 4 single roses out of an A4 sheet of cardstock, or 2 double rolled roses out of a single sheet of A4 cardstock. So how I would feed it through the Big Shot: just one acrylic plate down, then I put my die sideways, my cardstock on top, then my acrylic plate, and feed it through, and you'll get 4 out of one sheet of A4. So that's a tip for you. Then once we've cut it out, this is what you're going to be left with. So to get that double rolled rose look with sponging the edges, what we're going to be using is a dauber, which mine's looking pretty inky because I've just done one, and I always use the Stays On opaque ink. Now to use that, just a quick tip, if you haven't used it before, it's different to all the other Stampin' Up ink pads. You will get the ink pad and then you'll get the little bottle of refill. So each time you use it, you need to just squeeze a bit on. Then you get this little spatula with it in the kit, and you just spread it. I just try and keep it into the middle, and it'll just soak into the pad like that. But I really like it because it's a very vibrant white. Okay, so then just using the dauber, I've pre-done one because I didn't want to be inking it through the whole video. So all you do is just dab your dauber in, and you just ink round all those little edges of the die cut. Now I have gone round twice. The first time you go round, you'll find it soaks in a little bit. So I find I need to go round twice, and you can see how the edges are nicely inked up. Then you take your bone folder, just like every other time I use this die, and we're just going to break up those fibres. So we have to be a little bit careful that we don't do it too hard so it breaks the cardstock. even though Stampin' Up's cardstock is very thick. It's a very good quality cardstock. So we're just breaking up the fibres, and you can see how it's curling already. So we just do that right down to the end. Okay, then we go back to the beginning of the small end, and we're just going to be twirling. Now keep it as tight as you possibly can, because you can let your rose out at the end. I like to keep one finger at the top and then my thumb at the bottom as I'm curling, like that, and just trying to keep it quite firm, not too tight but quite firm. And we just keep doing that until we get right to the end. Nearly there. And you can always unroll it before you glue it if you're not happy with how it looks at the end. So then you'll have like it bunched up like that. So I'm just going to let it, just zoom in on the rose. So I'm just going to let it have its way. Let it spring out like that. Now that's a petal there. So to glue it down, you've got this little circular spot here. So we're going to glue that to the bottom of the rose. So we'll do that first. Just a bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. Not too much. And I just have to grab my cotton bud. Just spread that out. If you put too much glue on, it just won't adhere. So then we're just going to down on the table. Press that down for a few minutes. Sometimes just got to hold it there for a little while. It's stuck there nicely. Now these petals round here, as they're sticking out, you can just pull them in and stick them to your project like that. Just depends what sort of effect you want your rose. So you could leave it like that if you wanted to. See, I just pull those out a little bit. But another thing you can do is you can glue these petals up. When I want to do that, what I do is I just grab my glue dots and I put a couple on each of those two large petals there. That one. On that one. And on that one. And then I just bring that up. And it gives you more of the closed effect. So you don't have, if you don't want the petals, you can just pull those petals out. Even though the glue dots are there, you just pull them out a little bit. I do excuse my inky hands, but does get a bit inky when you're making these. And that's single rows, but by sponging it round those scalloped edges, it's made it look like a double rose. So I hope you'll try that technique, and it is quite effective on your cards. It's one that I've done recently. So thank you for stopping by, and I hope that you find this tutorial helpful.